Supposed to be way smoother than that. Episode 3, Don't Lift With Your Back. You can check out the first 2 episodes. You can see episode 2 here and episode 1 here. I actually don't know how to do that, but I'm gonna find out if I know how to. Like, put a link. That'd be amazing. Let me make sure my fucking camera's rolling. I don't have Jonice's phone here today. Yep. We're in. But last week we talked about being deathly afraid of being happy. I say we. We talked about last week. I talked about being deathly afraid of being happy. And this week I'm going to talk about living for the day, but what if there's tomorrow? And this all stemmed from a conversation I once had with my mother, who... So having my dad pass sort of was like, obviously a fucking wake-up call, especially as I got older, where he worked a lot. He was home, but he worked a lot, and it stressed him out a lot. And I have every reason to believe that that probably played a part in him passing, which was heart-related. And as I grew up, I constantly heard the idea of... get a job that has healthcare, 401k, and all this being harped on, when I saw firsthand someone not getting to reap the benefits of those things. And I firmly believe even working towards accomplishing those things in turn causes passing. So like, you work your ass off to get this healthcare that you now have to use because you're working to get it, which is such a fucked up concept. So I think there's a balance there. And that's exactly what live for the day, but what if there's tomorrow is. So I live my whole life with this fucking like perspective of like living for the day. Carpe diem, they say. Kind of the same thing. But, and so I live my whole life is just like not planning for the future. Because I'm not super convinced I'm going to be able to see it, because I've seen not a lot of people see it. Because I've seen a lot of people not see it. So I'm having this conversation with my mom, who obviously is on the exact opposite end of the spectrum. Not because they do an extreme degree. What's up, Mom? But to a degree that is no way I want to live. That's not what I want to hear, any of that. So we're having this conversation. I'm like, well, I'm planning for fucking 45. What if I don't see 45? Like, and she says, like, but what if you do? Oh, Jesus. Well, that was heavy. And I think there's so much in that, and I think it can go so many directions where it's like, one, yeah, don't be fucking reckless. Like some YOLO type shit. No, bro. Like, you only have one life to live. Like, obviously you aren't going to green light today and just fucking send it to where you're dead tomorrow. Like, horrible idea. But at the same time, it's like making decisions that you don't end up being 45 or 65 and like have nothing and you're fucking miserable and extremely unhappy. But on the contrary of that is you don't get to 65 and are like, I saved all this fucking money, spent 0 time with my family. I worked the whole time so I didn't get to enjoy anything because I was terrified. It once again comes to fear. But what it comes down to for me is that balance. So like, well, first I want to talk about living for the day. Like, you really have to seize today for real. Because there's going to be a time when you're older that you don't have as much leverage. And I hate people saying, like, oh, I wish I did that when I was young and all this. Oh, you still can, bro. Stop with that shit. You're just as now scared as you were when you were fucking 25. Like, you can still do all that shit you're talking about. But it's like pursuing a dream and not living for the age of 65. Like, when I'm 65, I want to be comfortable and happy. No, bro, that shit's weak. If that's your steez, do your thing. Cool. But that shit's not that tight. And that's how you ensure that you don't live at all today. So the key is to find that fucking balance of like sending it today but investing for tomorrow. So like a lot of shit that means to me personally is I invest in a lot of capital for myself. And it's not all financial, but it's just the mindset of like buying shit that I can utilize tomorrow instead of just spending my money on stuff that retains zero value. Like when you buy a car, you drive it off the lot, it loses at least half its value type shit, which is insane, horrible investment. But I get it. I would like a tight car. But like, so Jonice is starting her Wander from the Gnome business. And we went to FedEx to print out some tags. And we spent like $20 on some fucking tags at FedEx for time and internet and printer. But there's a badass printer that we wanted to get from Best Buy that was relatively pricey, but it's like, I have to go to FedEx 20 times to pay off this printer. I'm going to go to FedEx 20 times. So it's that mindset of like, yo, you got to do badass shit today and send it and shit that's extremely uncomfortable and then makes you uncomfortable to reap the benefits tomorrow and live tomorrow as well. It's not sacrificing today for tomorrow. It's not sacrificing tomorrow for today. It's that balance and having them intermingle and work together. And I think that's something that literally people don't talk about, yo. Like, you'll hear occasionally people, but when I talk to parents, I just hear boring shit. like, it's horrible, and it's so depressing, and it makes me sad, truthfully, where it's like, no, if I refuse to take advice from someone whose life I don't want. And I think that's very fair. I don't think people would like that, and I hate advice. So you definitely won't like that if you're trying to give me advice, but like, no, live and learn and make mistakes. It's so okay to make mistakes. Like, that's dope. If you don't make mistakes, you aren't shooting shots. Like, so an example. So my gung-ho attitude, I don't know the exact origin of that term. My like send it ass attitude. Just an example. Just want to make sure that's clear, not just like, what's he talking about? I have always had an entrepreneurial mindset. I wanted to pick the brain of another entrepreneur. And so an amazing teacher of mine, Dr. G, rest in peace, an angel, hooked me up with this guy in Springfield, Missouri that is like a flourishing entrepreneur in the community. She's like, you should go talk to him. I'm like, that sounds super awkward, yo. Like, definitely don't want to do that. But I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll do it. So we set up a meeting. He's like, yeah, come by my shop. I'm not going to say what kind of shop it is, put him on blast. Come by my shop and we'll talk. I'm like, okay, word. Super uncomfortable, super nervous. I get there and dog's not there. I'm like, okay, this is probably my fear. And so there's a guy, one of his workers there. I'm like, hey, is this guy's name? I actually don't remember. Is he here? He's like, oh no, you want me to call him? I'm like, oh, I'm already neck deep. Sure, give him a call while I'm just standing in his shop. He calls him. He's like, oh, I totally forgot. Sorry about that. Like, you want to set up another day? So I'm just sitting here in probably one of the more awkward situations ever. And I'm like, sure. Sure, fam, I don't know. And so we set up another day. Never happens. Like, we never end up linking. But what it made me realize is like, yo, what's the worst that's going to happen? Like, you got to send a day and put yourself in awkward ass situations. Awkward for you, not awkward for other people. Like, that's not the goal. But you just got to send it. And I guess that's what it comes back down to. But so I'm in that awkward ass situation. I drive down to Dallas to try to secure this bag with this dude. And he bails on me for like 3 days. I was down there for maybe 3 days. Shooting texts, talking, never links. But at no point did I walk away feeling bad about it. I just walked away like, that's the worst that's going to happen. The fear of failing is so much worse than failure itself. Because you run through every horrible situation in your head time and time again, and you psych yourself out, but then you go there and it goes wrong, because shit will go wrong, and you're just like, oh, I guess I can deal with this. And it's liberating as fuck. Like, I think once you stop fearing failure and start looking at it as a learning opportunity, and I'm not going to say enjoying it, but finding the humor in it, it's unreal. And so that's what it comes down to, is it comes down to that balance. And so send it, but don't put all your eggs in one basket. Set some money aside for tomorrow, or don't burn bridges with people that you love. That's one thing I find a lot of times too, is another form of balance is family and friends and work. And that's the exact same mindset like I was talking about. Some people devote all this fucking time to work to get this fucking pants are tight. To work to get these 401ks and get this health care, and never spend a single time with their family because they're just like scared. So you got to find that balance. Like, for me, I do contract work, so some gigs I bail on for family time. I'm just like, if you've committed to something, or that's huge too, like some nights you're just tired and bogged down, and if you can't go out, or you don't like have the capacity to go out, I totally understand. For the love of God, I've been there. But if you can, go out and spend some time, because 9 times out of 10, I'm glad I did. But you can psych yourself out of that shit too. You're like just overthinking everything. You're like, fuck, this is going to be stressful, or the anxiety's high going out, or how's it going to be? Is it going to be awkward? Da 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 da. Then you go out, you're like, bro, what was I tripping about? And so it's that balance, because money's going to come and go, jobs are going to come and go, but like the thing that holds you down is community, and like cats around you that are really, really genuine and can just talk to you and pick you up and help you out, and y'all can help each other. Like, that shit's super important. I think what this comes down to a lot of times is just like the capitalistic approach of like money being everything. And as I'm going into college to get my entrepreneurial degree, I'm a senior in high school, and I talked to this older guy, and he's like, oh, what are you going to school for? I'm like, entrepreneurship. He's like, oh, one piece of advice: go wherever your business wants you to go. I don't care if it's somewhere in Asia, somewhere in the Middle East. I don't care if it's here. Go there. And then forward, which is horrible advice. Granted, you got to sacrifice shit. Shit definitely has to get sacrificed, but like, balance. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. Granted, I've made some sacrifices and sent it on some jobs that paid off, and I'm glad I did. But this man ends up getting a divorce, and his family's not fucking with him. And that's the exact reason why. It's that mindset. It's like, live for the day, but what if there's tomorrow? Not like live for tomorrow, but what if there's today? I guess you can even say that shit, which obviously there's a day. My point is the balance of today and tomorrow, and really living for that. And just don't get too caught up in too much. Don't get too caught up in today. Don't get too caught up in the future. Think about both, balance them out, and at the end of the day, live in the moment, but plan for the future, you feel me? And side note, if you ever fly in Alaskan Airlines, if you have a jersey on, this is not promo, for the love of God. If they paid me, it'd be hilarious. Not gonna happen. But so I'm in Portland, I buy this jersey. Get them Timbers. And my sister's talking. She's not very confidently. She's like, yeah, I think if you wear the jersey, you get some perk on Alaskan. I'm like, okay, fam, sure. And she wasn't confident enough to convince me, so I'm like, I'm definitely not wearing this jersey on the plane. I want to be low-key. I don't want to show up and have to high-five anybody or anything. So I don't wear my fucking jersey. And Alaskan's like, all right, we are a proud sponsor of the Portland Timbers. Anyone wearing Timbers gear can board first. I'm like, this isn't a high five, fam. I'm gonna log in this. You're really like boarding first, bro, that's better than a credit card. So yeah, if you're ever flying Alaska, and get you one of these things. I got mine from a thrift store. I know I had to do it. And I could have boarded first. Instead, I was probably last on the plane because I don't got perks like that. But yeah, live for today, but plan for tomorrow. Find a balance in between the two. Get them vibes right. And then, if you haven't yet, check out episode 2. Or check out episode 1. Or there's a link for Jonice's new online boutique, Wander from the Known, down below. And I'm trying to get subscriptions. I don't know why. They say it's the hot thing to do. So, click to subscribe down. I don't know if it's mirrored or not. It's going to be on one of these corners. Yeah. But no, I appreciate y'all watching, truly. The feedback's been amazing. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've hoped making it. As much as I've enjoyed making it. And if y'all want to message me or comment, which I don't know if you want to put your business out there in the comments, but if you do, hit my line if you got my number. I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all.